Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about oil and gas prices, but how they pertain to real estate, because there's still so many people that are confused and frustrated with the price of real estate rising exponentially, and they are frustrated buyers. They're getting outbid. But I want to reassure you, for every one person that is paying cash for a home, regardless if it is a person or an institutional buyer, right? Like a hedge fund, something like that, or a mutual fund, there's 9 people that need to go and get a loan, at least. Actually, the numbers are even larger than that, okay? So I want people to understand that. For every one person paying cash, many, many more people actually need to use debt to purchase a home, okay? So I'm gonna use this story out of Yahoo, and I'm gonna pin it below, and it's entitled Gas Prices. We're starting to see demand destruction, says an expert. And that is exactly what's gonna happen to real estate prices, and it is exactly what happened to gas and diesel prices back in 2008 when the country hit an all-time high of, I believe it was $4.47 around June of 2008, okay? So here we go. High gasoline prices are already impacting demand, according to one energy expert. Above $4 per gallon, you do see the American public change their driving habits, and we do actively see demand destruction. Now, this comes from Regina Mayer, global head of energy at KPMG. It's a big company. This is from Yahoo Finance Live, okay? She also went on to say, I think that's one of the things that helps the overall tightness of supply is when we see demand start to dip back down. So let me go into this a little bit. First off, it's very important that people understand that when prices get too high, and many people have quoted a famous economist, guys, do me a favor and put it down below if you know in the comment section who said this, but the cure for high prices is high prices. When prices get so high, whether it be rent, price of a home, price of gasoline, or the price of a vehicle, people decide to not buy. Now, we do see people buying them right now. We see people going out and paying insane valuations for vehicles. Why? Because they're impatient. These people, quite frankly, are foolish. There is no reason that you need to go race out and buy a new vehicle. If you have a vehicle in the garage that runs, it's just because you want something right now, unless you have a business. Like for me, I have to buy vehicles for certain businesses to be able to entertain big write-offs, right? And so even in today's inflationary environment, I found myself buying a new diesel truck for a company because the write-off was so valuable, it was extremely valuable. So let's put it that way. Outside of that, there's still people that are going out and I want a new car, and they don't think the prices are going to come down. They think that today, the way things are today, that's just how it's going to be. Well, these are the new prices. This is the price I'm paying for eggs now. This is the price I'm paying for, cars or homes now. And they don't realize cycles, okay? So they're greedy and they just want it right now, okay? They're very impatient, all right? But for every one person that's doing that, there's 10 or 20 people that are patient and they will wait. And I know it's hard to identify that, especially in these times, because right now inventory is massively tight. It's not only tight on vehicles, but it's tight on real estate, all right? Now, that is, I believe, soon changing because we are seeing a lot of people that are migrating from one state to the next because they can sell their overly inflated house and still buy an overly inflated house on another part of the country, but they can also take advantage of different prices, different taxes, things like that. But this tells the exact immediate future because gasoline impacts everyone pretty equally, right? Not everyone is going out to buy a house, but just about everyone, unless you're living in a large city and you go on the bus, ride on the bus, stuff like that, you are impacted by the price of fuel. So it is a bellwether that comes out quicker. It's easier to identify than the real estate cycle, okay? So let's go a little bit more into this. Now, both Brent and WTI, West Texas Intermediate, have seen massive price swings since the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine war. Guys, it happened before that, though. Western nations imposed sanctions. We all know the story. I'm not going to read it. It says gasoline's national price average currently sits at $4.24 a gallon. Now, I want people to remember this. That is not as high as it was in, I believe, you guys can quote me on it. Put the all-time high in 2008, national all-time high, but I do not believe we have hit that yet. And that is very, very important. Mayor, the lady that we're talking about, expects prices to stay elevated for a while, so do I, as we head into the summer driving season. And there's a lot of variables there. One variable, like in California, we have what's called summer blend. And it is a more expensive blend of fuel, and it does cost more. Not only that, you have demand issues pushing the price up because people want to get out and travel. Now, even though it says, like she says in this story, that it's starting to wane, demand is coming down a little bit, we're still going to see some uptick because remember, we haven't hit, or maybe it is spring break, I don't even know. We're getting close to spring break, we're going to see traveling moving, then we're going to really see a rush of traveling in June. Regardless of the fuel price, people are still going to want to get out. So I want people to understand that, okay? We have a really interesting dynamic where right now demand is waning because people are staying away from the weekend vacations possibly because of camping trips, things like that, because of the cost of fuel. But there's going to be an upward pressure in demand for both spring break, then we're going to have about a month and a half off until school lets out, and then we're going to see a massive summer rush. And I really do believe, regardless of the fuel price, if fuel prices are even a little bit more elevated in June than they are now, we're still going to see a massive demand, which is going to push prices even higher. So, I really don't need to go past any more of this, but I wanted to point out, I'm going to do a quick little Google search real quick. And I'm going to say, what is the all-time price in homes? Or I'm sorry, not in fuel price high. You know what I mean. So okay. No, this is right now, 2008. So now, guys, I think, sorry for the pause. You know me, I don't do editing. But right here, okay, as of Tuesday morning in 2008, check this out. The average national gas price for a gallon of regular gasoline touched $4.17, and that's according to AAA. AAA, the Automobile Club. If you don't have a towing card with them, I mean, seriously, you should go check it out. It's great, cheap insurance for towing. I've got one of those. I love it. Was the highest gas price ever. Now, that was as of March 8th, 2022. So we have just bumped that. We've just hit it, went a little bit above it. So right now, what you are seeing is the amount of pain that drivers were feeling nationwide back in 2008. Now, I want to remind you guys, right before that, Bear Stearns had collapsed. We'd actually all been handed checks a year prior to that, stimulus checks, which is pretty new, right, in the country. And we were waiting for the Lehman Brothers crisis. Now, to say this is worse is a unbelievable underestimation. You know what I mean? I believe that you are going to see much higher fuel prices, coupled with what I believe to be hyperinflated food prices. I do believe you're going to be paying $10 to $15 for a loaf of bread by the end of this fall season. And that's for a myriad of factors. But back in 2008, not only did we have the high fuel prices and homes starting to come off their tops because of a scandal. And I've talked to you guys about commercial mortgage-backed securities before, and it's a big deal. Especially, think about this, guys. Commercial mortgage-backed securities were having trouble, and there was a whistleblower case on it a couple of years ago. Now you couple that with the fact that all of these commercial properties are going vacant because companies have learned how to put their employees on Zoom and get more work out of them per dollar at home. Now think about that. Commercial mortgage-backed securities are shaky. They're in everybody's pension fund, everyone's. You've got high fuel prices, high food prices. You have literally a catastrophe happening right now with these chickens. And until they can stop it, 12.6 million chickens have just been killed in the first 8 weeks of that H1N5 hitting the country, right? That's getting big. I just got a report from somebody in the UK. They sent me a report off the BBC. There is now no more free-range chickens. They've had to, because they've been killing so many of them, because they have this flu, they've had to take them all inside. So there's no more free-range chickens available, or free-range eggs, all right? This is getting very serious. Then you couple that with Wall Street saying, we have issues. there's a lot of pressure. A lot of stocks are down 20% off their highs. We're in a bear market, and there's only these things that we like to call the FANG stocks holding ourself up. And really, even that, the FANG stocks are getting hit already, like Netflix and PayPal. I know they're not in it, but you see my point. So I think these are very, very serious times, and I want to encourage you, because what's going on, you get to see demand and prices spike, or maybe because of the Ukraine war, Russia-Ukraine war, the prices of oil spike, fuel spikes, all that kind of stuff. But then as demand collapses, you'll see it put that downward pressure, and that's what's going to happen in the real estate market. So I hope that gives you guys a good explanation. I hope you guys have a great day. With that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.